What happens when a police chief's own son thinks the law doesn't apply to him and attacks a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran in broad daylight? Arrogance walked straight into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom that day, wearing a massive entitlement, fully convinced his father's badge would shield him from any consequences. But when Judge Caprio forced a father to choose between protecting his son and upholding justice, what unfolded became the most unforgettable moment in Providence courtroom history. The defendant stood there, a smirk plastered across his face, declaring, "My dad runs this town. You can't touch me, old man." Silence dropped over the courtroom like a hammer. What no one realized was that Police Chief Thomas Cole was sitting just a few rows back, witnessing his son undo decades of honor and hard work in an instant. The choice he faced would shatter hearts, restore faith in the law, and prove sometimes principles matter more than blood. Before we jump in, here's a quick note. Less than 5% of viewers are subscribed. If you believe in true justice, honoring veterans, and holding the powerful accountable, hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you won't want to miss how this story unfolds. It's a crisp November morning in Providence Municipal Court. Judge Frank Caprio, 76 years old and a veteran of thousands of cases, braces for what appears to be a routine assault hearing. But something about this case feels different. The victim, 70-year-old Vietnam veteran Robert Martinez. The defendant, 32-year-old Derek Cole, son of Providence Police Chief Thomas Cole. The case file is disturbing. 3 days ago, Robert Martinez was walking his dog in Roger Williams Park when Derek Cole, speeding recklessly in his BMW, nearly ran him over. When Martinez raised a hand to signal him to slow down, Derek stopped, jumped out of his car, and confronted the elderly veteran. 3 separate witnesses report the shocking details. Derek shoved Martinez to the ground, causing his head to slam against the pavement. And when bystanders tried to step in, Derek reportedly sneered, "Do you know who I am? My father is a police chief. Call the cops. I dare you." Then, without a second thought, he jumped into his BMW and drove off, leaving a 70-year-old veteran bleeding on the pavement. Robert Martinez suffered a concussion, 3 broken ribs, and a fractured wrist. He spent 2 nights in Rhode Island Hospital, while the entire city watched in shock. A nearby security camera captured the incident, and once the footage hit local news, Providence erupted. Everyone demanded justice. This morning, the courtroom is packed. Local reporters, concerned citizens, veteran advocacy groups, and loyal followers of Judge Caprio's cases have all squeezed into the gallery. The energy is palpable. You can almost feel that something extraordinary is about to unfold. But no one in the room yet knows this. Police Chief Thomas Cole is sitting quietly in the back row, dressed in plain clothes, his badge hidden. He hasn't told his son he's here, and the reason for his presence will stun everyone. At exactly 10:30 a.m., the bailiff calls the case. The state of Rhode Island versus Derek Michael Cole, charged with assault and battery on an elderly person. Derek Cole strides in like he owns the courtroom. Designer suit, gleaming watch, and that arrogant smirk. The same one that makes a gallery instantly dislike him. He doesn't look guilty. He doesn't look nervous. He looks irritated that he even has to be there. Behind him, Marcus Richardson, one of Providence's priciest defense attorneys, follows. The kind of lawyer who knows every trick in the book for wealthy clients. But then a moment freezes the room. As Derek passes Robert Martinez, Vietnam veteran, wrist in a cast, hat pulled low, he doesn't so much as glance at him. No apology, no remorse, nothing. Judge Caprio looks up from his paperwork. Those warm, kind eyes that have comforted thousands now harden. He's read the case file. He's seen the security footage. He knows exactly what kind of lesson this young man needs today. "Mr. Cole," Judge Caprio begins, his voice calm but cutting. "You're charged with assault and battery on an elderly person, specifically Mr. Robert Martinez, a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran. How do you plead?" Derek's lawyer jumps in immediately. "Your Honor, my client pleads not guilty. We believe this is a case of mistaken identity." Judge Caprio raises a hand. "Counselor, I asked your client, not you. Mr. Cole, do you have a voice?" Derek rises, smug as ever. Adjusting his jacket, he locks eyes with the judge and says, Not guilty, Your Honor. This whole thing is ridiculous. The word ridiculous hangs in the air like a slap across the courtroom. Judge Caprio slowly removes his glasses. A signature move signaling a reality check is coming. Ridiculous, he repeats, his tone razor sharp. Mr. Cole, I've reviewed the security footage. I've read the hospital reports. I've seen the photographs of Mr. Martinez's injuries. Perhaps you'd like to reconsider calling this case ridiculous? Derek glances at his lawyer, who's frantically signaling for him to stay quiet. But Derek's ego refuses to back down. Your Honor, with all due respect, he begins, and anyone in the courtroom knows what that really means. Disrespect is coming next. This is being blown out of proportion. Some old guy got in my way. I barely touched him, and now I'm being dragged into court like a criminal. The gallery gasps. Did he just call a decorated Vietnam veteran some old guy? Did he just claim he barely touched him when the man spent 2 nights in the hospital? Judge Caprio sets his glasses down carefully. His jaw tightens. For anyone familiar with Providence, this look is unmistakable. It's the calm before the storm, the moment when Judge Caprio's legendary compassion hits its limit, and justice is about to strike. Mr. Cole, the judge says, voice steady but heavy with authority. Before we proceed, I need to know, do you even know who Mr. Martinez is? Derek shrugs. Some guy who was in my way. The disrespect is thick enough to cut with a knife. Robert Martinez remains seated, exuding the quiet dignity of a lifetime of service, while fellow veterans in the courtroom fume visibly. Judge Caprio rises from the bench and steps toward the front, a rare move. In court, that always signals something major is about to happen. Mr. Martinez. The judge says, turning to the elderly veteran, please stand and tell Mr. Cole who you are. Slowly, Robert rises, supporting himself with his good arm. Your Honor, my name is Robert Martinez. I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1968 to 1971. 2 tours in Vietnam. I was awarded the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star for Valor. I'm a retired Providence firefighter and have lived in this city for 50 years. And 3 days ago, this man, he gestures toward Derek without looking at him, assaulted me for no reason other than I asked him to slow down in a public park. Asterisk. The courtroom falls utterly silent. Judge Caprio nods respectfully and Martinez sits. Mr. Cole, the judge turns back, voice firm. Do you understand what you just heard? You assaulted a decorated combat veteran, a man who risked his life for his country, who spent 30 years running into burning buildings to save others, and you called him some old guy who got in your way. Derek's smirk flickers, but arrogance still clings to him. Your Honor, I didn't know he was a veteran. How was I supposed to know? Judge Caprio's response is swift and merciless. It shouldn't matter if he's a veteran, Mr. Cole. Assault is assault. But the fact that you think it only matters if you knew his service record tells me everything I need to know about your character. Before we go further, pause for a second. In the comments, share this. Have you or someone you love ever been disrespected because of age? Seen young people treat elders with contempt? This isn't just about one case. It's about respect, dignity, and honoring those who came before us. Derek's lawyer jumps in, attempting damage control. Your Honor, my client misspoke. He's young. Evidence. Judge Caprio interrupts sharply. Counselor, I've seen the evidence. Let's watch it together. The court clerk cues the security footage on the monitor. Silence grips the room as everyone watches Derek's BMW roar through park, nearly hitting Martinez. The veteran raises a hand to signal the car to stop. Derek slams on the brakes, jumps out, and violently shoves a 70-year-old to the ground. Then, standing over him, pointing, shouting, and casually driving away. The footage leaves no room for doubt. The assault is undeniable. When the video ends, Judge Caprio fixes Derek with a piercing gaze. Still think this is ridiculous, Mr. Cole? Derek's face pales. His lawyer whispers urgently. But Derek's toxic blend of privilege and arrogance won't let him fully surrender. Your Honor, Derek mutters, voice shaky. I was having a bad day. I'd just gotten some bad news. I wasn't thinking clearly. Judge Caprio's eyes narrow. A bad day, Mr. Cole. I've sat on this bench for over 30 years. I've seen people who lost jobs, homes, even their children come before me. You know what they don't do? Assault elderly veterans because they're having a bad day. The judge steps closer, closing the space between them. Let me tell you what I think happened, Mr. Cole. You've spent your life believing you're special. Your father's position shielded you from consequences. You've never been held accountable, and you walked into my courtroom expecting that to continue. Derek opens his mouth to interrupt, but Judge Caprio raises a hand. I'm not finished. I've dealt with people like you. People who think their last name, their family's money, their father's badge makes them untouchable. But here in my courtroom, none of that matters. Law matters. Justice matters. Respect matters. And now, the moment nobody saw coming, Judge Caprio glances toward the back of the courtroom and calls out, "Chief Cole, would you please come forward?" Gasps fill the room. Slowly, Police Chief Thomas Cole rises. He's been there the entire time, hearing every word, watching his son show no remorse. His expression isn't anger, it's heartbreak. Derek spins around, his arrogance crumbling. "Dad, what are you doing here?" Chief Cole walks down the aisle, each step heavy with 35 years of law enforcement. Late 50s, gray at the temples, wearing a simple shirt and slacks. No uniform, no badge, just a father witnessing his son unravel everything he taught him. Judge Caprio turns to the chief with genuine respect. "Chief Cole, thank you for being here. I know this must be incredibly difficult." Chief Cole stands at attention, his years of police training evident in his posture. "Your Honor, I appreciate the opportunity to be present." Derek's panic is palpable. His lawyer looks bewildered. The gallery leans forward. What is happening? Judge Caprio continues. "Chief, your son seems to believe that your position will shield him from the consequences of his actions. He's implied multiple times that because you run law enforcement in this city, he is somehow above accountability. I want to give you the chance to address that belief." The courtroom holds its collective breath. A father must choose between protecting his son or standing for the principles he spent a lifetime upholding. Chief Cole exhales slowly. His voice is steady but charged with emotion. "Your Honor, my son is wrong. He's always been wrong about that. I spent 35 years serving the city, arresting drug dealers, murderers, corrupt officials, putting my life on the line to protect the innocent and uphold the law. Never once have I believed my badge gave me, or my family, the right to break the law. And today, I see that my son failed to learn that lesson." Derek opens his mouth to speak. "Dad, The chief raises a hand, silencing him instantly. "Derek, be quiet. You've said enough." He turns back to Judge Caprio. "I watched the security footage the day after the incident. I read the hospital reports. I know exactly what happened. And I am here today, not as Chief Cole, but as Thomas Cole, a father who failed to teach his son the most important lessons: respect, humility, accountability. I thought I had taught him right from wrong, to protect the vulnerable, to treat everyone with dignity, regardless of their station. But somewhere along the way, I failed. That failure," he gestures toward Derek, "is standing right here." Derek's arrogance shatters. Tears well up. "Dad, please." Chief Cole turns to his son. "Derek, I love you. That will never change. But love doesn't mean shielding you from the consequences of your actions. Love means holding you accountable, so you can become the man you're meant to be. Your assault of a decorated veteran, your disrespect to this court, to the law, to everything I stand for, you deserve to face the consequences fully. I will not interfere. In fact, I would ask the court to be even more severe, because you need to learn this lesson before you hurt someone else." The courtroom erupts in whispers. This is unprecedented. A police chief publicly asking a judge to hold his own son accountable. Derek is openly crying. "Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean..." Chief Cole's voice strengthens. "Do you know what I did yesterday? I went to Mr. Martinez's home. I apologized to him on your behalf, even though it doesn't undo what you did. I told him your actions don't represent our family or the police department. And he said, 'Chief, your son needs help, not protection.' And he's right. You don't need me to bail you out. You need to face what you've done and change. Judge Caprio listens, visibly moved, then addresses the courtroom. Chief Cole, thank you for your courage. You put justice above instinct to protect your child. That is strength beyond measure. Turning to Derek. Do you understand what just happened? Your father, a man who could have made this disappear, chose the law. He chose Mr. Martinez. He chose integrity. That is what true accountability looks like. Derek struggles through tears. Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I was wrong about everything. Judge Caprio nods. That's the first honest thing you've said today. But sorry isn't enough. Actions have consequences. And this is how justice transforms, Mr. Cole. Derek Michael Cole. Judge Caprio announces, voice formal, I find you guilty of assault and battery on an elderly person. Here is your sentence. 90 days in Providence County Correctional Facility. 200 hours of community service working with elderly veterans. 1 year of anger management counseling, and a formal apology to Mr. Martinez to be read in this courtroom and followed by a personal meeting. Derek nods. Judge Caprio continues. You'll also create a video apology for the Providence Police Department's social media accounts, explaining what you did, why it was wrong, and how you are making amends. After completing your sentence, you will speak to Police Academy recruits about privilege, accountability, and the dangers of believing you're above the law. Your father will ensure this happens. This is not humiliation. It is transformation. Chief Cole adds, Your Honor, he will also be moving out of my home. At 32, he must learn to support himself and understand that privilege is earned, not inherited. Derek is devastated. Dad, it's time, the chief says, voice breaking. It's time to grow up. Judge Caprio turns to Robert Martinez. The veteran rises slowly. Your Honor, I don't want revenge. I just want to understand that every person deserves respect. Age, rank, none of it matters. We're all human, and if he learns that, this will have been worth it. Chief Cole adds, Your Honor, he will also be moving out of my home. At 32, he must learn to support himself and understand that privilege is earned, not inherited. Derek is devastated. Dad, it's time, the chief says, voice breaking. It's time to grow up. Judge Caprio turns to Robert Martinez. The veteran rises slowly. Your Honor, I don't want revenge. I just wanted to understand that every person deserves respect. Age, rank, none of it matters. We're all human, and if he learns that, this will have been worth it. The grace in those words silences the courtroom. Judge Caprio addresses Derek one last time. Mr. Cole, you've been shown more grace than you deserve. Think about the man you want to be. Think about the person your father and Mr. Martinez can be proud of. The gavel falls. Officers approach Derek. Chief Cole hugs him tightly. I love you, he whispers, but I love you enough to let you face this. You'll get through it and you'll be better. Derek sobs. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. The officers lead him away. Chief Cole watches, tears streaming. Real love isn't shielding someone from consequences. It's guiding them through them. Judge Caprio approaches Chief Cole. They shake hands. You did the right thing. The judge says, it doesn't make it hurt less. No, Chief Cole replies, but it makes it worth it. Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom one last time. What you witnessed today is not just about one case. It's about choosing whether to enable or hold accountable the people we love. Chief Cole chose justice, integrity, and honor. That is courage. That is leadership. Applause erupts. Tears are shed. Veterans salute. Robert Martinez shakes Chief Cole's hand. Your son is lucky to have a father like you. 6 months later, Derek Cole walks out of the Providence County Correctional Facility, a changed man, humble, purposeful, and devoted to serving others. He volunteers at the VA, apologizes to Mr. Martinez, and becomes an advocate for accountability and redemption. His video apology goes viral, inspiring millions. Judge Caprio's decision didn't just enforce the law. It saved a life, healed a family, and proved that the truest form of love is letting someone face the consequences they need to grow. Justice served. Lessons learned.